I'm going to show you how to actually shut down run pass options, aka RPOs in Madden 24. And if you guys like videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to get notified when we drop new videos. We're going to cover everything you need to know in this video. We're going to cover the types of RPOs. We're going to cover how to stop RPO alerts. We're going to cover how to stop RPO reads. And then finally, we're going to cover the most overpowered RPO in the game that needs to be stopped in a very specific way. If you've played any online Madden, chances are you've come across a ton of RPO spammers, and they have probably given you the biggest headache of your life. The first thing you must understand to stop any RPO is to determine what type of RPO you're facing, because there's a huge difference between an RPO read and an RPO alert. An RPO alert is a type of RPO where the quarterback can either hand the ball off or throw the alert receiving option. It is also important to mention that any Undercenter RPO is an RPO alert as well. An RPO read is a type of RPO that also has a read option mixed into it, so the quarterback can hand the ball off, take it himself, or throw the receiving option. Now first, let's talk about how we can stop RPO alerts. To show you how to stop the RPO alert bubbles, I'm going to do it in dollar. Number one, because it's probably the best defense in the game. It's great against the pass. And number two is it also has probably the best blitzes in the game. And it's probably the defense you're in if you're playing at a semi-competitive or competitive level. There are different ways to do this in 4-down lineman sets, but I think it's the easiest to do in a dollar, and it's the most effective defense. To show you exactly how to stop these RPOs, I'm going to do it in the gun trips tight end RPO zone alert bubble. This is one of the most common RPOs in Madden 24, and it also probably has one of the best blockings. So what I'm going to show you is if you could stop this one, you could pretty much stop all of them. Now, the play I'm going to call in dollar is cover 4 drop contain. It's a super common coverage, and maybe you even run it. My coaching adjustments, I like to put it on baseline. This actually has a huge implication for stopping RPO alerts, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So right now, it comes out looking like this. We have a spread D-line. But if you notice, if you spread your D-line like this, and I go and run the ball, there's a pretty huge hole for 10 plus yards, right? So what instead you can do to stop the run without having to go through a crazy gap shoot is you need to pinch your defensive line. And to do that, you need to press left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. And then I like to use the running back side linebacker. So this is what your defense looks like. You could also optionally press. The reason this is so effective is because we are baseline. So if they do try to run this RPO bubble, you'll notice that this curl flat, this flat defender, which is absolutely required, will do a great job at playing it. On top of that, the hook curl, because we pinched our defensive line, will also do a fantastic job at playing that RPO bubble. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Now when I go to throw it, you could see that the slot cornerback is right there to make the tackle. We have great run defense. We could actually loop around the other way if we'd like, but we have this linebacker staying steady. And then, of course, we have the slot corner hitting this for absolutely no gain, right? Now, the reason we baseline, I'm not just going to say, oh, we baseline because we baseline. The reason we baseline is because if we weren't baseline, so if I did something like this instead, right? Let's say the linebacker was here, or we used this linebacker, right? Let's say we did this. The problem with this is that the triangle receiver, Nelson Aguilar, would go and block the slot corner, and that would open up the bubble screen. So let me show you what I mean. So as you can see, he goes and blocks him. So that guarantees about 5 yards plus for our opponent. So the reason we baseline is it moves him a little bit closer. So you can see when we don't baseline, he's out like this. When we do baseline, he's a little bit closer. And the triangle receiver, Nelson Aguilar, can't block him, right? And that's the reason we baseline. So it's actually very simple to stop the RPO alerts. You just pinch your defensive line, crash your defensive line down, user this guy, and then just ask them to throw whatever it may be. And then, of course, the run is very easy to stop when you pinch your defensive line and crash down. And then, of course, you have that flat defender to go and guard the bubble screen. Now, to show you how to stop Undercenter RPOs, I'm going to show it out of the single back wing slot stretch alert bubble. This is probably the best Undercenter RPO in Madden 24, and it is very common to see online because it's so effective. On defense, I'm just going to call big nickel over G cover 3 sky, and I'm going to show you why it's so effective, right? Number one, the stretch is really, really good. You can get a ton of yards. Right there, we only get about 5, but it's usually open for a very large gain. As long as your guys make their blocks and leave you a bit of a gap, you'll be able to gain 5 yards plus every single time. The problem, though, is Even if you do stop this run, this bubble is wide open for a 10+ yard gain nearly every single time unless you absolutely commit to it. So let me show you exactly how you're actually going to stop it. So the defense you're going to call, I'm in big nickel over G, but this will work in nickel normal. This will work in pretty much any 4-down lineman set. This will even work in 4-3 sets. So I'm going to call cover 2, and I'm going to put baseline on. Auto flip is also on. Then I'm going to call same play on offense, the wing slot RPO stretch alert bubble. And to set this up, it's really only a few adjustments. We're going to pinch our defensive line crash down, left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. And then the next thing we're going to do is press by pressing triangle or Y and down on the left stick. Then we're going to man up the circle receiver. It's actually really easy. So we're going to man him up. That's actually a lot of buttons. I press triangle 3 times, up on the right stick, and then the receiver icon being circle. This will cover everything. This will cover the bubble, and this will allow us to shoot the run. So when they run the ball, what you will see is that we have a wide open gap to shoot it. What you're doing is you're running horizontal with the line, and then you're running almost diagonal. So watch my little ball here. We're going to run through the play. Horizontal, and then diagonal. So the tight end will miss you, and you'll be able to hit that. Now, the other reason this is so great is because since we manned up that circle receiver, he'll go and get covered, right? Every single time. So they can't throw the bubble either. So let's do it one more time. Let's try to throw the bubble. Just like that. You see how quick I can set that up? No big deal. And when they try to throw the bubble, you can see they're losing 3 to 4 yards, and that could even be an interception. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, chances are you'd love the exclusive content on victoryformation.gg. We currently have my entire Steelers offense, my dollar defense, and Sean's spread game plan with tons of RPOs in it, as well as 50 game-changing tips in the laboratory. Just 2 of these tips in the lab showcase the best cover 3 one-play touchdown and the easiest way to beat man coverage in Madden 24. Unlock everything for only $9.95 and take an additional 15% off with code SWOLO. Now let's stop RPO reads, which are arguably much harder to stop than the RPO alerts. To show you how to stop RPO reads, I'm going to do it from gun trio offset weak RPO read bubble because it is one of the most common and most effective RPO reads. And of course, if you can stop this one, you can pretty much stop all of them. Now let's call the RPO read bubble. And then on defense, we're going to run that same baseline cover 4 drop. Now, of course, there's a huge problem with this immediately. If we have our defensive line spread like this, we'll be able to run for a huge gain, usually 10+ yards, right? However, if you want to stop the run, you can option the running back by pressing R1 and square. So now the running back should get optioned and you'll be able to make the tackle, right? Just like so. You feel like you've solved one problem. The problem with this, and compared to the other RPOs, is that they can take it with their quarterback. So of course, you can get a pretty sizable gain. You always want to go down on these ones, but you can get a pretty sizable gain on the read option if they take it with their quarterback. So let's do it one more time. See if we can get some good blocks. And once you see, that's 5-6 yards every single time, right? So that's, of course, what makes it so overpowered. But there's actually more to it, and I'll show you this. So to stop this, if we want to do what we did last time, we pinch our defensive line, crash our defensive line down, right, and blitz all linebackers, which is a different adjustment, pressing right on the D-pad and down on the right stick. So this will do a good job stopping the run. So if they run the ball, right, this will do a good job stopping it, right? Even though they stopped in the backfield there, it will do a very good job stopping the run. The problem with this, of course, is that the read defender, when you pinch your defensive line, switches to the slot corner. Now, what does that mean? That means that the slot corner will blitz every single time instead of covering the circle receiver. Even if I pass commit 100 times, right? He will still leave this circle receiver wide open for a big gain every single time. So let's show you exactly what I mean. Let's run it one more time and show you what is happening, right? So once again, you'll see that since he has that big R over him, that means he's the read key. He's going to cover the quarterback or the running back. He's always going to leave the circle receiver wide open, and you'll be able to get a huge gain if you're the person running this offense and someone's pinching their defensive line. How are you going to deal with that? If you spread your D-line, you're going to get gashed. If you pinch your D-line, you're going to get gashed. So what are you going to do? To do this, all we're going to do is shift our defensive line left, crash out, blitz our linebackers, and press. Now, because we're shifting towards the running back, right? It doesn't matter left or right. We just shift towards the running back, and we're sitting here with our user, right? Just right here. This will make it so that the bubble gets played because the read defender will properly be the defensive lineman, right? So in this case, you'll see that the read defender will, or the pass key is now the slot corner, and he'll go and make that tackle, right? So you don't need to worry about that anymore. And then you'd think, okay, well, the run's probably open, but the problem is, for them, not us, is that we can actually shoot this run by looping in and making the tackle. And this will work for all RPO reads. So let's do it. Once again, we loop in, and we have 2 defenders in the backfield, right? If they try to throw the bubble, you can see our slot corner's right there. If they try to take it with the quarterback, you could see that the defensive lineman is just waiting for him, right? And then if they try to hand the ball off, we have not 1 but 2 defenders hitting it in the backfield, right? So that's the way to stop RPO reads, and that will work for every single RPO read in Madden 24. Now let me introduce you to the most overpowered RPO in Madden 24, and it's the RPO read bubble in the gun bunch strong nasty formation that can be found in the following playbooks. Now let me show you exactly why it's so overpowered so you can actually understand. If we set up the defense exactly the same as we did to stop every other RPO, RPO reads, RPO bubbles, we do everything right. The problem is the slot corner actually is still the read key. And then of course, if the slot corner is still the read key, he's still blitz. And once again, you make 1 juke, it's a huge gain. So what are you gonna do if the slot corner still remains the read key even after you shift your D-line and do all of these important things? He's still the read key. Well, you actually have to do something pretty advanced to stop this advanced play. So once again, let's do it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put cover 4, or rather I'll do something else. I'll do cover 3 match, right? Or what I should call it, cover 3 lock. And I'm gonna call double safety go. So first, what I did there is I put cover 3 lock in the audibles, but this will work out of a lot of different plays. I just like the stock coverage of cover 3 lock. So I'm gonna call double safety go, and then I'm gonna audible to that play. So I call double safety go, and you could see these safeties come down, right? So you're like, okay, I could see how that would help the run defense, but I couldn't imagine that actually helping the bubble defense. So then I'm gonna call the cover 3 lock that we had called. Then what you will see, I'm gonna even pinch my defensive line. So you're gonna be like, oh no, don't do that. We talked about why you can't do that. That's actually not the case for this specific defense. So when you call double safety go, the safeties come down, and when you audible, and don't press, don't touch anything, just audible, you will see that the safeties remain in that spot. So what does that actually do? That actually makes it so the safeties, not the slot corner, are the read keys. So in this case, the right side safety has the R over him, and he's the read key. That changes everything. So now if I were to do something like this, let's say set something up like that, right? Which basically all I did was just put a flat zone and inside third this guy, right? Super easy stuff. If I were to do that, what you will see is that it'll actually go and play the correct player, right? Since the slot corner is not the read key, if I go to throw this, the slot corner is right there for a tackle every single time. And that's how you stop the best RPO in Madden 24. You'll be well on your way to stopping every single RPO in Madden 24. And if you're looking for some more great top-notch Madden tips for offense and defense, make sure to check out this video for the top 3 offenses in Madden 24 that are both easy and effective. And this video, that's what I meant to say, this video for the top 3 defenses in Madden 24 that are absolutely super easy to run and very effective.